If I could look each and every one of you individually in the eye, there are a few things I'd really like to tell you. Recently, I've received several emails and even a telephone call from some of my viewers in the United States who are in a similar situation to what I was in before I left. And the common thread that runs through all of these communications is that people are frustrated. The people who are in the situation that I was in are starting to feel desperate, and it's because they're starting to believe some lies. And I need to speak to those people directly today, and my message is really simple. Stop believing the lies that these people are telling you. We have this belief in the United States, and it's prevalent throughout all of society, that someone who commits a sex offense is automatically a scumbag who is not worthy of participation in society, who is not worthy of love, who is not worthy of forgiveness, who is not worthy of moving on with their life, not worthy of trying to salvage their lives. But that is a lie, and I need you to understand that it's a lie. Whether you've committed a sex offense, whether you've committed a murder, whether you have simply violated a traffic law and broken the law, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody makes mistakes. Every life is valuable. We either believe that or we don't. And too many people in the United States say publicly that they believe in the value of human life, and then they put a whole bunch of buts after it. But we don't believe in giving sex offenders a second chance. We don't believe in letting murderers have the right to vote. The hell does voting have to do with anything? And I need you folks to understand that regardless of whether you've been convicted of a sex offense, you are still a human being worthy of love. You are still a human being worthy of companionship and fellowship and participation in society. Stop believing that you aren't. I have known men in the prison system who took their own lives because they simply couldn't deal with the pressure. And I know, not personally, but I have read articles and seen videos about the folks down in Miami. There's something like 30,000 homeless sex offenders. They're not allowed to live anywhere, so they're living under bridges. And when they started living under bridges, the police came and made them move. Where the hell are these people supposed to live? It is not acceptable in a nation that claims to have its roots in Christianity. It is not acceptable that we treat our fellow brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers, our neighbors, our fellow human beings. It is not acceptable that we are treating these people as less than animals. We act as though these folks deserve no forgiveness, as though they have no right to move on with their lives, and that's bullshit. It is not acceptable. And I need you folks to understand that. I have said for many years, if you're not happy with your situation, do something about it. Because that's another lie. One of the other lies people tell you, or that you tell yourself, you start to believe that you're stuck in your situation, that there is no way out, that there are no options. And that is not true. There are options. Another lie that we have a tendency to believe is that the folks who sit in the jury box, the folks who point fingers at us, the folks who march in front of our homes protesting that we're living in their neighborhoods, we somehow fall for this lie that they are somehow more innocent than we are, that they are more righteous than we are, that they are better people than we are. And that's another lie. It's bullshit. Because the fact is, these people are every bit as guilty as we are. They just haven't been caught yet. Think of how many teachers, upstanding members of the community, teachers in the schools have been arrested for having sex with their students. Think of how many Sunday school teachers who harp and harp against sex offenders are caught for child pornography. Think of how many pastors you've heard of who rail against sex offenders and rail against homosexuals, get caught in motel rooms smoking crack with male prostitutes. These people are no more innocent than we are. They are no better than we are. They simply have not been caught. Don't fall for the lie that you're any worse than they are. You are not. You have every bit the value that they do. I believe Jesus said that all have fallen short of the glory of God. I believe that means everybody. And the truth is that the folks who are pointing fingers at you are every bit as guilty as you or me. But it's like when we were kids. We might have been doing the same thing that our brother or sister were doing, but the moment they got caught and punished for it, we thought it was hilarious. I know I did. And we have turned sex offense law into a spectator sport. We enjoy watching people get arrested. We enjoy watching people being prosecuted for it. We get a thrill out of watching documentaries on television about how they're treated in prison. It has become a spectator sport. And that is wrong. It is morally wrong. It is unethical. It certainly is unchristian. Another lie that we fall for is that we are somehow less worthy as human beings and we have no right to be anything other than miserable. We feel that we don't have the right to engage in societal events. We act as though we don't have a right to be loved or that we don't have the right to be involved in meaningful relationships. That's a lie. We are entitled to be loved. We are entitled to be in relationships. We are entitled to become members of the community. Not to become members of the community, but to participate as meaningful members of that society. But I need you to understand that you are a person of value. And you are not stuck in your circumstances. You are not forced to live like an animal or a third-class citizen for the rest of your life. Now, I understand most people are not in a position to be able to do what I did and simply leave the United States, call it quits and move somewhere else. But I need you to understand there are options. If you're not happy with your situation, you can change it. It will take courage. It will take hard work. And if you're not willing to put hard work or courage into it, well, then just stay in your situation and be miserable, but don't complain about it. It's far better to put energy into finding solutions than it is to put that energy into complaining or bitching or moaning. Nobody wants to hear it. If you're not happy with your situation, change it. And I beg you to think of yourselves as people of value, of people of worth, people who deserve to move on, people who deserve to be happy. You do deserve to be happy. Your entire life does not have to be destroyed because of a poor decision you might have made in your life. I appreciate you allowing me to vent, and I hope you'll take some time to think about these things. I am very interested in your comments. I am very interested in hearing what you have to say. Until the next time, look for solutions.